Well, greetings and salutations. Happy New Year. This is now 2021. In case you're watching this 10 years from now, as a point of reference, we are still heavily in a pandemic for the coronavirus. So we're still on lockdown, but I'm going to keep it rolling. And for this time, I'm going to remember you are talking to Aaron or Aaron at East Oakland Aquatics, and this is the January 2021 fish room tour. And we're going to go through all the fish tanks today, but we're also going to talk a little bit about how I maintain the aquariums, what fertilizers I use, about the plants and the fish, and about water changes and water quality and all that good stuff. So let us start off with the 15-gallon fluval with my neon tetras. And as you can see, there's lots of Java ferns in there, and the plants look good, and the fish are eating because I just started eating them. And for this tank, I do about a 20% water change per week. I do not put any fertilizers in this tank. This tank is all natural. I just do the water changes. I do a little scrubbing. The snails help out a little bit with the maintenance, and it just goes and takes care of it. It pretty much is a symbiotic relationship and takes care of itself. And there you have it. This is another 8-gallon tank, which is used as a quarantine tank. Right now, I'm not taking any fish in right now, so there are no fish inside there. All right, over here is a 10-gallon with some pygmy cories, and they are not out right now. And there are some celestial danios. Let's see if I can zoom in and see them. I just fed them, but these fish are incredibly shy, and they are not going to come out today. There's plenty of Java ferns in here. Java fern is, you're going to find out, is the most heavily used plant that I use because it's easy to grow. And there's a little bit of the celestial danio. And I do not do any in this tank either. Any fertilizers of any kind, I just let it go and it takes care of itself. And in this tank, I have some Amazon swords and some Java ferns, and I still have my panda cories are still doing well, and I have my endlers, the yellowtails, and this tank sometimes gets some tabs, and some fertilizer tabs, because I like to keep this tank nice and healthy, and occasionally it does need it, and I do put it in here, and I will go over in a minute and show you what products I used. And let's get a little zoom in on there and see how these guys are doing. Oh, as you can see, you know, these two are doing great. Everybody seems to be quite happy. The plants are doing well. And on these two tanks as well, I do about 20% water changes per week. You don't really have to do heavy water changes when you have heavily planted tanks, because the plants, just like Mother Nature does, do a good job of eating up the ammonia and keeping the nitrates and the nitrites all at positive levels, as long as you put in good water that's been treated for ammonia and for all sorts of other stuff, so that you don't put it in the tank when you do the water changes. You're pretty much good to go. Here is the 29-gallon, which is full of my cherry barbs, and they are probably still eating because I just fed them, because I always shoot these videos when I'm eating. This is a heavily planted tank of Amazon swords and Java ferns, and this tank also gets tabs in it a lot, because I like to keep them quite healthy. And there are the fish right there. These are the two males. They're the bright red ones, and they just look great. And I will show you what products I use in a minute. And I also put some liquid fertilizer in here too. And just to show you that even healthy plants start to get brown leaves and start to fade away. And so I will probably trim those soon. These fish are just looking phenomenal. And while I'm at it, I might as well just go over what foods I use when I get over there. halfway through this tour. And here is now the 40-gallon fluval, and tank looks good. The bow, excuse me. And both these tanks get about 20 to 30% water changes per week. And I change out the filters, since we're talking about that too, the media, and clean it in fish water, because you never want to clean the media in tap water or clean water. Otherwise you could start the cycle tank process over again. And this tank is full of harlequin rasboras. It's full of runny nose tetras. It's full of endlers, and it's full of autocinculus. And as you can see, most of the plants that I had a couple of months ago have passed away. This is the third time that I've tried to grow plants in this tank, and it never quite seems to work out. The Java ferns are doing good, and the Amazon swords are doing good. Yeah, I can see these plants in the background are starting to fade away, and they're starting to collect hair algae. So yeah, just, it is what it is. I don't know if it's this substrate, but this is the third time that I've tried to do it. And let's zoom in on these little guys here. That's the main one. They're all thinking they're gonna get more food, but the answer to that question is no. You guys just ate. And I have the little bubble maker in there. I forget what that's called. The name escapes me. But it helps put fresh oxygen in the tank. That's what it's there for. It's an air stone. It's an air stone because it put oxygen in the tank, and it helps out quite well, and I like it. As you can see, the tank looks good, and the fish are quite healthy, so that is always a good thing. All right, so let's go to the stand of 20-gallon longs. This is always good too. All three of these tanks get 20% water changes every single week. And there are all of the mollies. There's the male molly, the one that's yellow. And there are the Cory cats. Oh, look at them out. These are just really awesome. They're doing their job by getting all the remainder food, since we just fed them. The plants are looking healthy. I don't do any fertilizers in this tank, by the way, just as is. And there's 2 autocinculus on the wall there. And there's lots of whatever you call that stuff on the top. I'm sure the name will come to me. Everyone looks good. There's the male. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, the light overhead is causing it is, but yeah. Mama Molly's looking good. She's always my favorite. I don't think she's gonna make any more babies. I think her baby making days are over with. I mean, she had so many fry over these past couple of years. These are all her kids, and I've given so many to Mike's Feed and Pet. I think those days are over with. All right, so here are the Ember Tetras. I don't think there's any more food up there, but they're doing good. Yep, he just took off. And there is my one remaining zebra autocinculus. This guy here keeps crawling in that tube, and I keep having to rescue him. So here's my message to you. Stop crawling in the tube in there, because one of these days I'm not going to be around, and you're going to get stuck, and you're going to be in a whole lot of hurt. So stop doing that, buddy. There are the Ember Tetras. And all these plants in here, name escapes me. No fertilizers at all of any kind. I just let it go. Yep, there he is. And in this tank is full of swordtails. And they're all females, no males. There they are, and there's the famous orange zebra Cory cats in the corner there. Let's see if they'll come into focus. Yeah, there they are. They are, as always, my favorites, doing well. There are no live plants in here. Just fake plants. Yep. Let's get another close shot up of him. There you go, buddy. There he goes. All right. There's still some food left over, guys. You guys better finish that off. All right, so now halfway through the tour, and as you noticed, I always shoot these videos in one take. I never do edits. I just go with the flow. So here are the tabs that I use. I use Flourish tabs from Seacham. The liquid fertilizer is Excel. The foods that I like to use are a combination of First Bites, Micro Pellets, Vibra Bites, Tetra Colors, Tropical Flakes, Bug Bites, from Fluval, I believe makes those. I can't afford the rich fancy food, but this stuff here does an adequate job of making everyone happily fed. Seacham is a great product that I use. I know this is not a sponsored video of any kind, so I gotta say that this is not in any way a sponsored video. This is just what I use to feed my fish and for fertilizers. All right, so let's go over to the 5-gallon breeder tanks and the 10-gallon on top here. Here are my 2 platyfish. These are my favorite color platyfish. I'm hoping they'll breed. That would be really cool. There's only 2 left, and they're quite healthy, so I'm hoping they will. And this tank does not get any fertilizer, not needed. Completely just all self-contained life support system, and about a 20% water change per week. And all these 5 gallons, all the same, get 20% water changes. They're all planted. It's not necessary to do anymore. Here are my 2 female bettas. This is Joy, and this is Hope. And these are my male endlers. None of these tanks get fertilizers of any kind. Just water changes. Now here's a little tip here. Hope here, and the reason why when you feed betta fish, these are females by the way, you want to make sure that you keep the lids on, because she jumped out of the tank yesterday, landed on the floor, and I thought for sure she was going to pass away. I was able to scoop her up and put her back in the tank. I thought for sure when I came back this morning she was going to be a goner, but she survived. She must have landed correctly. She's doing well, and I learned my lesson. Always put the lid back on after you're done feeding, because these fish like to jump. Seriously. Here are the male bettas. Here's Jazz. He's looking good. Very healthy betta. He's probably gonna, I think I'm gonna put some female endlers in there, and then I have to make a decision in the next month whether or not I'm gonna breed. But I've been unemployed for a year, and the cost of maintaining this fish room, I have to make a big decision in the next month what I'm gonna do here. All right, and let's see if this guy's gonna come over. Look at him and his red flames. He's one attractive betta fish, I do have to say. Sparky is his name. Sparky looks like a little firecracker, just gorgeous. He's got his 2 female endlers. Sparky is just one gorgeous betta. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we don't get the glare. Just look at him. And that guy is so attractive. Dude. And if you're on the club scene and all the girls were there, man, you'd be getting all those phone numbers, buddy. All right. And here's Agent Frank Betta. He's still with us. The senior betta, doing good. He's got his female endlers in there. And like I said, all these tanks, no fertilizers of any kind. Just completely natural. They're self-contained life support systems. Look at him. He's a happy guy. All right, so let's finish off these 6 tanks over here because I got a surprise for you at the end. All these again, 20% water changes. Here are all the children. I took the moms out so they wouldn't accidentally eat up their own fry. I've counted at least 10 little babies in here. I won't be able to sex them out for a while, but I just fed them and they're all, let's see here. No, I'm not able to get it in focus. But there are just a ton of them. And this tank is one of my favorite tanks because I don't have to do anything to it except change out the water and put in little fry food, and it just takes care of itself. It's a self-contained life support system. All right, here are some more female endlers. I think I'm gonna put them into the 45-gallon fluval bow front over there, and some of these tanks, when does it start closing down? Here are my white cloud minnows. I brought the remaining ones upstairs since there was only one left, and there's, you know, because they're very social and they should be able to at least have 5 in there. And I'm oh well, excuse me, 6. Look at that guy. Just really great looking fish. I have bred them before. These are all the offspring of the original parents. Looks great. There's no fish in this one. Here are some more male endlers. This tank, for whatever reason, all of the plants died except for the Java fern. I had to completely clean it out. And don't know if fertilizer would have helped, but happens. Here are some more female endlers. And yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to consolidate fish and put them into one. So let's pull back. Enjoy this whole scene from a distance. And we might as well talk about this while we're going out. You know, during the winter times, the PG&E bill is going to hit $100 a month to heat all these tanks, because if you notice on the wall here, I am keeping a running tab of the temperature and the humidity in here. And even though it's the middle of winter and it's 50 degrees outside, it's, you know, it stays 68 in here, which is comfortable at 50% humidity. But you need to heat these tanks. Some of these fish got to have, you know, 75, 78 degrees in order for them to feel comfortable. So it's important to do all that. And on that note, I think you get an idea of what it costs. And I don't know what's going to happen this year. We'll talk about that later. And I want everybody to be safe. Let's get through the next 100 days. And take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye now.